Hello there! In this video, we will explore what lies behind the bright light of Olympus. So stay tuned and be ready for the dark side. Cyclops. Cyclops are massive monsters. They have lumbering breasts, an extreme height, a block-shaped head with broad features. The very noticeable feature that they have is their single round eye in the center of their foreheads. Cyclops are extraordinarily strong. They are known as loud, inhospitable, murderous, and violent. They possess neither social manners nor fear of the gods. When Zeus became the ruler of the world, the Cyclops began to dedicate themselves to their talent. They began forging not just Zeus' thunderbolts, but the equipments of other gods too. They were believed to build numerous monumental works all around Greece and Italy. Medusa. Medusa is symbolized in Greek mythology as the female creature having a hair consisting of snakes. She is also part of the three Gorgon sisters, which include Steno, Uriel, and Medusa. They had the power to turn anyone who looked at them into stones. A beautiful mortal Medusa was the misfit in her family, until she was cursed by Athena, the goddess of wisdom. The story behind Medusa's curse is that her and Poseidon had an ill-fated love affair, and because of this, Athena punished her and turned Medusa into a hideous hag, making her hair into snakes and her skin with a greenish hue. She gave her the ability to turn anyone into stones, so you might want to keep your eyes away from her. Just a friendly tip. Cerberus. Cerberus was the offspring of the monsters Echidna and Typhon, and is usually described as having 3 heads, a serpent for a tail, and snakes protruding from multiple parts of its body. The primary job of a Cerberus is to be the watchdog for the underworld. Cerberus is most often depicted moving along the banks of river Styx. The 3-headed dog prevented those who were dead from escaping the underworld, as well as kept the living from going to the underworld without Hades' permission. Cerberus were able to look into several places at once and attack different opponents simultaneously. They also possess great strength and immortality. Centaur. A centaur is a creature from Greek mythology which is half man and half horse. The parts of the body that is human are the head, arms, and the torso, while waist to the body and legs are of a horse. The centaurs were totally unpredictable and wild. There were good centaurs and bad ones. One of the best known centaur is Chiron or Chiron. Chiron was a notable exception. He was known for his wisdom, medicinal skills, and teaching abilities. Centaurs were usually followers of Dionysus, the god of winery, who always wanted drunk and festive followers and servants. The abilities or powers of a centaur includes human intelligence and speech.
In my world, I'm known as Chiron.
Centaurs are fantastic creatures with the head and torso of a human and the body of a horse. Typically, they are barbaric and wild, with the exception being the gentle Chiron.
Hydra. Hydra was a serpent monster that had many heads, and each time a head was cut off, 2 would grow in its place. It is generally said to have 8 mortal heads. and one immortal head in the center. It had a poisonous breath and blood so virulent that even its scent was deadly. Its lair was in the lake of Lerna, in which was reputed to be the entrance to the underworld. They are also said to be extremely venomous, killing anyone with just a swift of their breath. They also spit acid, which is venomous just like their blood. Defeating a Hydra, a second of the 12 labors of Hercules. However, because of its regenerating ability, Hercules had a hard time, but he succeeded in the end. Hydras are creatures even God don't want to involve with, and we all know why.
Killed it? You only made it worse.
What are you talking about?
Percy, when you cut off one Hydra head, 2 more grow back.
Chimera. A chimera is a hybrid monster in Greek mythology that resides in the countryside of Lycia in Anatolia. Its body features had the head and body of a lion, as well as the head of a goat attached to its back, and a tail that ended on the head of a snake. Many said that Chimera was reputed to be nearly invisible because of the features they possesses, for they had the strength of a lion, the cunning of a goat, and the deadly venom of a snake. But this monster's most deadly weapon was their ability to breathe fire through their mouth. But even though they are nearly invisible, they also have a weakness, and this is eyes.
Helios, go with them!
Chariptis. Chariptis represents a thing in your life that takes you in gradually, but once you get sucked in, you will be eternally stuck and it's trapped, without hope for escape. Charybdis is a monster that lived under the Strait of Messina. According to the ancient Greeks, at the opposite of her direction is another monster, named Celia. Both of them are waiting for their victims. Because of the narrow space between the two monsters, the sailors avoid it at any costs. Charybdis had the power to suck water and make a whirlpool out of it. Anything she sucks will be ruined and face a miserable death. Charybdis also has no weaknesses, and the only way for you to escape is to stay away from her.
Yeah, sharks would be better.
Stygeon Witches. Stygeon Witches are a strange group of 3 Greek crowned sisters. They shared only one eye and one tooth. They are also believed to be the sisters of the Gorgons. The names of those witches are Dano, Pempredo, and Enya. The Stygian witches live in darker caves near the entrance of the Tartarus, near the island where the Gorgons were expelled. One story goes that King Polydectes sent a hero, Perseus, on a mission to capture Medusa's head. He went to the Stygian witches to seek help. He stole their only one eye and forced them to reveal any information about Medusa's whereabouts. Once he was finished, he threw the eye into the lake of Triton and went on his way, leaving the sisters searching for their eye.
Who is it? Who is it? The eye.
That's his name.
We didn't come here to fight.
Hippocampus. A hippocampus can be referred to as a seahorse because it has been depicted of having the upper body of a horse with the lower body of a fish, or in short, horse for the head and fishtail for the lower part. The name hippocampus is also a combination of Greek words, hippos meaning horse and campus meaning sea monster. The name hippocampus also has a reference in the brain structure, which is called the Hippocampus, which looks like the figure of a seahorse. The creature Hippocampus has been described to be used as a ride or a creature that pulls a chariot. It is said in the Iliad, Homer describes Poseidon, god of horses, earthquakes, and mainly the sea, driving a chariot which is being pulled by a hippocampus.
It's a hippocampus.
Hi, girl.
Pegasus. Pegasus was an immortal winged horse, one of the two children of Poseidon and Medusa. Pegasus sprang forth most miraculously from his pregnant mother's neck, after Perseus had beheaded her. Pegasus' name originated from the Greek word for spring, which is page, since he was supposedly born near a spring. Notoriously wild and free-roaming, Pegasus was finally tamed by one of the greatest Greek heroes, Bellerophon. But he didn't do it by himself. He had a love of help coming from Athena. Bellerophon, the celebrated hero and slayer of the monsters, was capable of overcoming the Amazons and the fire-breathing Chimera. Pegasus served Bellerophon until his death. Minotaur. The Minotaur was one of the most famous and gruesome monsters in the ancient Greek mythology. It is usually portrayed with the body of a man and a head of a bull. It was the offspring of Pasiphae, the wife of Minos, and a snow-white bull sent to Minos by Poseidon for sacrifice, but in the end, they kept it alive. The center of the labyrinth, a very confusing maze, is the Minotaur's dark dwelling place. There, the monster was regularly fed with human flesh, especially that of a 14 young Athenian nobleman and woman.
You're meant to!
Put my mother down!
Where's he go? You're safe inside the gate!
What can I do? Listen, use the pin!
Hytonkiris, or hundred-handed ones. They are giant creatures in the Greek mythology who had hundreds of hands and had 50 heads. There is said to be 3 Hytonkiris: Aegeon, the sea god, Cotys, the strikers, and the Yeyes, or big-limbed. The 3 of them are also the children of Titan Uranus and Gaia. The Hytonkiris were probably invented to help the ancient Greeks explain the place that they live in, with the 3 brothers being the personifications of storms, earthquakes, and tsunamis. The Hytonkiris are known and also named as the prison's eternal guards. They will forever watch over the titans who had once been their jailers. A weird way to meet your parents, isn't it?